great things.
I 100% agree with that. I'm gonna kind of talk about like those things about how everyone's got their own personal story, but there's some laws that you can follow, which I kind of outlay in this video that like all successful people kind of follow. But like I said, my name's Connor. I'm 23 years old, graduated in 2016. I just got my bachelor's in biology from Fresno State this past spring. I'm a future dental student. I applied to 20 schools for 2022, so we're looking good on that. I obviously like the gym. I'm currently about 8-ish weeks out from my first natural bodybuilding show. I like to invest my time just into bettering myself, as well as investing my savings into crypto just for my long-term financial goals. And then lastly, I would consider myself a realist. The quote kind of got cut off right there, but it's you can either be tolerated by all, or you can be loved by some and hated by some. And what I mean by that is that I used to fall into this category where like I would switch my persona or my personality around other people because I knew what they were looking for, and now not to be vulgar, but I don't give a shit like what people think about me. And it's like you can either accept me for who I am, or you cannot, you know. So you go for the next one. So here's a picture. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Here's a picture of me from sophomore year. Definitely not the sexiest man around, but so this summer, sophomore going into junior year, we were practicing at Clovis East because the pool was getting worked on here. And there was one drill where we were specifically walking at someone and you put up your one hand and then you kind of jumped at them with your other hand, right? And I was the first person to go on this drill, and I walked at him with the wrong hand, and someone gave like a 10-minute like presentation on exactly how to do this drill, and Giffen just chewed me out. He yelled at me. I was like, damn, I hate this guy. He made me get out, go swim laps for the whole practice, and I was like, I remember like thinking like, I want to quit, like this is bullshit, you know. And then after that, Mr. Giffen and Coach Straja also came down and sat me down, and they kind of said, hey, like you're an average player, but you could be a lot better player if you lost some weight. And it really got to me like emotionally. And something that I'll talk about a little bit later is like, if you want change in your life, you kind of need to have an emotional reaction to it, just because it incites you to do something about your life. But long story short, you can go to the next picture. Here's a picture of my junior year. I started to lose some weight right here. It's starting to get, like, you can tell my smile in this picture is a little bit more confident than the one in the last picture. Started to make changes in my life. Then you can go on to the next picture. And then here's a picture of me. Again, you can look at my smile. You can see it's a more genuine smile. You can tell I'm a little bit more satisfied, happy with my life. Obviously looking a little better. Then you can go on to the next one. And then this is what I currently look like, 8 weeks out from my first show. And yeah, you can go on to the next one. So what's the difference between these two people? I have the same genetics in both pictures. And that's something that this guy used to tell himself is, oh, I don't have good genetics. I just can't do it, right? But I still have the same genetics, it's just a different mentality. So this guy on the left, his mindset was, I have no control over my weight, it's the genetics I was born with. It's kind of that victim mentality, you know. I'm not very smart, so I'm not going to try hard in school. I'd rather play video games. I'd rather not give my all into the activities life presents to me and just be average. I prefer to go with the flow of life, and whatever happens to me happens. Life is a bitch, oh well. And now current day mentality, I'm the only person responsible for my current life situation, happiness, and fulfillment I receive from life. I want something in life. If I want something in life, it is up to me to get it. No one is to blame for my own personal problems, and it is up to me to fix them. While I do believe everything in life happens for a reason, I also realize that I can have an influence on the outcome of a situation to manifest the results that I desire. And this shift in mentality I wouldn't consider myself a successful individual yet, but do believe that I will be successful later in life, and that's the right mentality. Whereas this is the mentality that I had before, and I wasn't a failure, but I would consider myself now. I was not thriving in life. Alright, so I very general rules that I put up, but just some general rules you guys can follow to build a stronger mind and that warrior mentality. So first off, you want to maintain a consistent gym routine. I mean, you guys are in water polo, you guys already work out, but I do recommend the weights just because I think building your muscles is just going to build that confidence in yourself. 1 to 2 hours, 5 days a week. It's very manageable. You don't know how many people will tell me I'm working, I have kids, blah, blah, blah. It's just excuses, in life you have priorities. Everyone has priorities. Drug addicts, their priority is to get drugs and smoke them. They could be broke, they're still gonna find the money to buy drugs, right? So everyone has those priorities, and for me, I plan to go to dental school. I know I'm gonna be ridiculously busy studying all day, and if I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, that's what I'm gonna do, just because that's a priority to me, Second off, I think everyone should eat a healthy diet. The average American diet is dog shit. So I think you guys should cut out fast foods, focus more on whole foods like chicken breasts, eggs, oats, rice, bean, vegetable, fruits. Anything that comes from the earth that has, obviously things get engineered, like corn, they're bigger, but at the same thing, eat whole foods that come from the ground. Cut out your calorie drinks, your 0 calories, like soda, Dutch Bros, slushies. And then sauces is a huge one that gets people all the time. They'll have a nice salad and then they'll just squirt a shit ton of ranch on it and make it it's not even worth going to the effort of eating salad, I personally am okay with the diet drinks, the 0 calories, and then protein shakes are okay, just because that's a drink. And then I also want to say that your physique that you have right now is 70% diet and 30% training. And I'm literally a prime example. You saw sophomore, junior, senior year, I was working out in the pool 2 hours a day. I did water polo and swim. I was constantly moving, but my diet was not on point. And that's why I was not able to have a good physique, Third, quit playing video games. I've always argued, and don't get me wrong, I played video games throughout my senior year, but once I graduated, I kind of got done with it. I was just the way I see it is why would you spend all these hours leveling up in an online world that no one gets to see when you could level up in real life, you're gonna, Fortnite, that game was 3 years ago or whatever. There's hella kids that spend a shit ton of money on it and put hella time into it, and now what is it to them? Nothing. It's nothing to them, And they wasted all this time in their life when they could have been progressing themselves as an individual. They just made someone else rich and wasted their time. Biggest waste of time, in my opinion. Fourth off, you really want to surround yourself around others that are trying to better themselves. There's this quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And then that's very true in life. Your peers have a huge influence on your personality, what you value. And I came to realize that if there's someone in your life that, it sounds cutthroat, but if they're not providing value to you, you may just need to start hanging out with yourself and cut them off, And it sounds cutthroat, but we do live in a cutthroat world, which you guys will learn. It's a little different in high school, but yeah. Fifth one, start reading. The ability to learn what one person dedicated their life to in the matter of days is an insane concept. The fact that there's books on every single subject, whatever your interests are, there's a book for it. And there's someone that has probably dedicated their whole life to writing this book and giving you valuable information in this book, and you can read it within a matter of days. Honestly, our society's shifting towards more digital videos, and I think that is a terrible thing. Reading is really to your own value, and it will make you a better person overall. Number 6, you want to learn to be comfortable being by yourself. And I bring up this quote, alone in a crowded room of people. And I've had that feeling before where you're with your friends, but these friends don't value the same things as you, you know? And you're like, what am I doing here? And you have to get to that point where you're like, okay, you know what? I'm fine with being by myself in my room and working on myself, doing whatever it is that you want to do to invest in yourself to make your future bright. Don't be the type of person that always needs to be hanging around people just because you don't feel comfortable around yourself, you know? In this life, while it's sad, but you're gonna die alone. Like, you have to be okay with who you are and your own self, you know? Number 7, you guys all need to learn to adapt to change. I'm a biology major, right? And my biology teachers in evolution, if you look at the whole history of life, the only constant in life is change. Humans, animals have always had to adapt to like continual changes. A prime example is COVID. That was within the matter of a month, everyone was inside, not interacting with the world. And I can't tell you guys how many millionaires were made off of COVID. Like, people found out how necessary hand sanitizer was. People made masks. All these people were ahead of the curve. They saw it coming, and so they invested into these things through COVID. I mean, the online orders with food, there was restaurants that switched, and a lot of businesses failed because they couldn't react to change. And as you go through life, you're going to constantly be having to adapt to change. A great book on this that I recommend you guys read is Who Moved My Cheese? Next tip, you guys should cut out drugs and alcohol. I know you guys are young and you guys probably aren't doing that. That was one thing that was really good about being in the water polo group, is that it's a good group of kids that aren't into that, but don't get into that habit. This is gonna sound weird, but I just want to explain it. So, in North Korea, their government actively makes sure that food does not get into the country. Thus, the population is in a constant state of hunger, which annihilates human creativity, ambition, and the ability to revolt. So the reason, I kind of just said it, but the reason they do that is because they have this very strong, I believe it's democracy or whatever it is, where they don't want the people to revolt because they just want to like keep people docile, right? And while I believe America is much better than North Korea, clearly, alcohol in our pharmacies is the U.S. equivalent to this. Drugs and alcohol are gonna make you docile. You're gonna not wanna like chase your ambitions. Like I'm personally completely sober. I don't do any of that stuff. I can still go out with my friends and not drink and stuff like that, even though that's what they like to do. I'm like, hey, you guys do you, but I'm not gonna partake in that just because I want to feel as good as I can all the time, just so I can actively chase my goals. Just because, prime example, you get a 2-hour high, but then you get a 22-hour low, and in my opinion, that's not worth it, you know. So that's just my argument on it. Don't start that shit. In life, if you want something, you need to go get it. This desire can be anything, as a job, hobby you want to get involved in, or even shooting a shot with a guy or girl, whatever you're into. It's soul crushing to want something in life and then not having the balls to go get it. And I definitely used to be that type of person. I would say, oh, I want something, and then I just tell myself, I don't really want to put in the effort to get that. And then like it literally like just makes you not a man. Like, a man goes and gets what he wants in life, you know, and that's what you guys need to be doing. If you desire to be like anyone, or you want to go on any profession, whatever the hell you want to do, find a mentor that has already done what you desire. So for an example, I want to be a dentist. I work in an orthodontist office and I shadow multiple dentists. Moreover, There's a bodybuilder that is my coach that I pay, that gives me a specific diet plan and training plan. And I also argue that it's almost better to pay someone that as a mentor, as this will force you to put some of your own wealth into the learning process, making it that much more valuable. A prime example of is when Giffen first decided to tell me, hey, you need to lose weight. My mom found someone online, and it was like $100 every time I saw him, right? And at the time, $100 is still a lot of money to me. And at the time I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. My mom paid for it, but at the same time I was still like, if my mom's willing to put this into me, I can't give up on this I can't BS my way through it. Like, I have to give my all, you know? So whatever you want to do in life, you're gonna have a much easier transition into getting that if you find someone that has already done it. You can even read like life, like there's a book about Steve Jobs, I forget what those books are called, but you can read about people's lives and see exactly what they did on their path to success, and you can literally replicate it. Like, in life, we copy each other, right? Like, and if you can copy what someone has done and do it yourself, there's a high likelihood that you're going to be able to do that same thing. And then lastly, I recommend that you guys invest in your future. We live in a society that is very, go out and spend your money, go out and get food, spend money on food. Like that constant, easy validation. Like when you go to the mall and buy some, a phone, you feel good about it. You're like, wow, this is dope. But then the things when you can save your money, invest your time into something, give it a couple of years, if not decades, and that's the wealth of not spending that money or investing your time is going to quadruple, if not tenfold. So I personally invest in crypto, which is very volatile and high risk, high reward. I personally have a high risk tolerance as I'm a young individual. I don't recommend you guys go straight into trading. I spent a long time researching it. The whole idea of the stock market is that it transfers wealth from inpatient individuals into patient individuals. There's traders that understand the game, and then they take it from the people that are impatient, that get emotional with their trades. So while I'm not saying you guys should take your whole life savings and throw it right into crypto, do some research on it, and there's a possibility that it could make you a wealthy individual. A great book on that is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I recommend you guys all read that. So how are you guys going to change your mentality from a beta sheep boy to one of an alpha warrior? So first, like I was saying earlier, you must have the dying desire to change your life for the better. So this has to be a personal decision. No one can force it upon you, as you'll eventually fall back in your old ways, as this is what you're comfortable with. Prime example of this is, let's give a scenario of some parents find out their son is a drug addict, and then they send him off to rehab. This kid's gonna go off to rehab. He's not gonna be able to get whatever he's doing. But his parents have that desire for him to stop doing drugs. When he gets back to his town, he's gonna go right back into doing whatever he's doing, because if you want something in life, that has to be your own decision. It's like that, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime, it has to be the desire in your own heart if you want to go on this road of bettering yourself. So once you start implementing these changes in your life is going to suck for a little bit. And this is kind of the concept of a dopamine detox. So everything from your phone, fast food, TV, videos, these are all, the reason you guys want to do this is because your brain gets a nice little dopamine release from it. It makes you feel good. And when you start eating healthier, like when I eat broccoli and chicken, my brain isn't like, oh, this tastes so good, I'd rather be eating pizza, but that broccoli and chicken is going to make me feel better over the long run. And like I said, it's going to suck for a little bit, as watching a video is going to give you more dopamine than reading a book. but one's going to be more influential to your life. You're going to get used to these changes, and then you're going to start to find happiness and motivation from the progress you made. I'm literally addicted to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I feel like dog shit. And it's just because I fell in love with the process of bettering myself, you know. And then slowly but surely, you will continue to make more changes to your life as you begin to fall in love with the process of self-betterment. This is known as snowball effect. You see the snowball, it starts out small and slow. Slowly but surely it gets bigger and bigger and faster. And that's exactly what's going to happen in your life if you start making these changes. So benefits that you're going to notice in your life if you start making these changes. You're going to be content, happy, and satisfied with your life. I honestly wake up every day excited with what the day is going to present to me. I don't wake up thinking, I've never really been depressed. I don't have that type of feeling. Like, I'm genuinely excited for what is going to come, you know. Your future's going to be brighter than you have ever imagined. It's honestly just an amazing feeling. You're going to feel confident within your own skin. I remember back in high school when I used to be overweight, I used to always go like this to hide my fat. I used to wear larger shirts to hide my fat. I used to never want, I didn't talk I didn't talk to many girls in high school just because I wasn't confident in myself. And as you work on yourself, it's going to get better. Increased interest from the opposite sex, that's obviously a benefit. If you're doing good in life, other people are going to notice and they're going to look up to you. You're just going to feel healthier. That's easy as that. Peers will look up to you and have more respect for you. That's something that you really shouldn't care about, but it's kind of just human nature to care what other people think about you. Whenever I've had a job interview or anything like that, people treat me with more respect. Like, people look me in the eyes, and now that I'm more healthy and I have a better mindset in life, you're just going to get a lot more good attention when you make this self-betterment, because not many people are going to do this in life. So when you do these little things, you're not going to be average. You're going to be one of the top individuals, and it's just a benefit that you will notice for sure. Similar to that snowball effect, life seems to get better and better each and every day. Like I said, I wake up every day feeling great, and it continues to get better as I continue on this journey. You're going to have a better ability to focus on whatever task you need to accomplish. Again, like I was saying, we live in this world of everything's trying to get your attention. You got your phone vibrating in your pocket. You got TVs everywhere. You got TikTok. People are always trying to get likes and views on that. Everyone's trying to steal your attention, but when you can get to the point where you can focus on a book for an hour or longer, whatever, you're going to have an easier time doing your schoolwork or really anything that you need to accomplish. And then lastly, previously hard tasks will slowly become easier and easier. Like I said, I used to hate schoolwork, you know, and now I've gotten to the point where I genuinely enjoy learning. So the last thing I'd like to is kind of a quote. Being broke is hard. Being obese is hard. Being rich is hard, and being fit is hard. Choose the hard that will get you closer to achieving your own personal goals. And that's like that homeless person down the street. His life sucks. He's not enjoying living on the street. He doesn't want to beg for money. That guy that's a millionaire that has to wake up at 4 a.m. and just to work on his business, and then gets home and goes to the gym, eats healthy. It's not fun either. Life is a struggle, but you want to choose the life that's going to get you closer to your own personal goals.